The movie starts with a breaking news report warning that the world is facing imminent destruction. NASA has informed the entire world that a massive meteorite will hit Earth in the next 20 days. In a desperate attempt to save humanity, NASA has launched missiles to destroy the meteorite, breaking it into smaller pieces that will hopefully avoid Earth. Experts can only wonder what might have happened if they had discovered the meteorite a bit earlier. Now, all humanity can do is hope and pray that this last-ditch plan will succeed. Unfortunately, human efforts have their limitations, and the plan fails as the meteorite continues to approach. Governments worldwide, including Korea, announce that the end of the world is near, with only 7 days left. The Korean government decides to broadcast the remaining days on television, encouraging citizens to make the most of their time left. Surprisingly, there is no panic or chaos as seen in typical disaster movies. Instead, people choose to spend their remaining days happily, cherishing moments with their loved ones. Meanwhile, Num-woo, a man accustomed to a life of solitude, reflects on his inability to experience the joys of companionship even as the world approaches its end. He wonders if he will pass away alone before the impending doomsday arrives. Num-woo recently joined the police force, and over the past month, he's continued to live alone in a tiny apartment. He's never had friends or a romantic partner. What's even stranger is that Num-woo can't remember his past. His memory is a void, filled only with memories of school and studying to achieve his dreams. Now, as a police officer, he questions the purpose of his hard work in a world that's on the brink of destruction. Despite his doubts, he carries on with his daily life. Dressed in his uniform and snug shoes, Num-woo heads down the police station corridor, preparing for his duties. While glancing at a list of wanted criminals, he starts his patrol. Along the way, he encounters various people expressing themselves freely, and he can't help but feel a sense of familiarity with them. Upon returning to the office, Num-woo stumbles upon surprising news. A man claiming to possess superpowers has emerged. The man demonstrates his ability to generate fire from his hands in a video on a sharing platform, revealing that he's been hiding his power for a long time. He confidently believes that there are others with similar extraordinary abilities. In the video, he invites people like himself to showcase their powers and unite to save the Earth. Shortly thereafter, Num-woo Sr. suggests that he can quit his job if he wants, but he declines the offer and decides to continue his patrol. As he strolls through the neighborhoods, he gazes up and notices an unusual flag. It triggers a sense of déjà vu, but once again, he struggles to remember. Not much later, Num-woo is taken aback by a girl who climbed over a wall. He's both surprised and strangely familiar with her, and it suddenly clicks in his memory. The girl is Hae-wha, an 18-year-old accused of theft and whose face he had seen on a wanted list. After bringing Hae-wha to the police station, Num-woo rechecks the wanted list, only to find that her name isn't on it. This adds to his growing confusion because he keeps experiencing a sense of recognition without fully grasping why. Hae-wha explains that the house she climbed into belongs to her friend, who happens to be one of the superhumans, but her friend wasn't home at the time. Hae-wha requested her release from the police, explaining that her intention was to gather superhumans and work together to save the world instead of merely waiting for its end. Eventually, Num-woo's senior assigned him to accompany Hae-wha to meet the superhuman, but not at the previous house. Instead, they were to meet at a location quite far from the city. During their journey, Num-woo felt nervous and tried his best to strike up a friendly conversation with her. His inexperience in socializing made communication challenging, but it was clear that Num-woo had developed feelings for her. At one point, he stopped at a gas station to refuel, leaving Hae-wha, who had fallen asleep, to purchase supplies and food. Inside the store, Num-woo came across a news report about people openly declaring their superpowers. An organization had been formed, recruiting superhumans to assist NASA in any way possible, in a last-ditch effort to save humanity. Since there was no storekeeper present, Num-woo left the money for their purchases before departing. Shortly after, Num-woo heard Hae-wha scream from the restroom. In response, he readied his gun and cautiously approached to assess the situation. As the toilet door mysteriously moved on its own, Hae-wha urged Num-woo to leave the area immediately. She was confident that she sensed the presence of an invisible superhuman possessing extraordinary abilities. With limited options, Num-woo could only provide a band-aid to tend to Hae-wha's injury. Their journey continued through the countryside and eventually they reached a remote location, still some distance away. They had to proceed on foot, and during this trek, Num-woo's tight shoes caused blisters to form on his feet. As he tended to his blisters, Numwoo inquired about the superhuman they were seeking. Haewha explained that this particular superhuman possessed the power to gauge the strengths of others. Superhumans, she elaborated, fell into two categories: those who were aware of their abilities and those who were not. Her mission was to find the latter group and help them recognize their powers, thus expanding the pool of individuals who could potentially save the world. Continuing their journey, they eventually reached their destination atop a mountain, but the person they sought was nowhere to be found. Haewha checked the food supplies, which were fortunately still fresh, suggesting that the person they were searching for still inhabited the place. Haewha explained that this was Mrs. Yang's training location, the superhuman they had been seeking all along. Haewha believed that Mrs. Young had temporarily left but would return soon. Initially, Numwoo contemplated leaving the house, but Haewha advised him to stay as night was falling. During the night, Numwoo had a dream in which he sat beside Haewha, who sadly told him that they would never meet again. Tears welled up in his eyes as she mentioned the beautiful sky on the final day. Upon waking in the morning, Numwoo saw a news report on television. It revealed that NASA planned to collaborate with superhumans to launch a cutting-edge missile. They aimed to combine the superhuman abilities that defied the laws of physics with NASA's advanced technology to intercept the meteorite. However, this news felt like a glimmer of false hope, given that there were merely 6 days remaining until doomsday. Haewha kindly provided Numwoo with clothes and shoes, explaining that she had washed his police uniform and would return it if the apocalypse didn't occur. She was willing to wait even longer for Mrs. Young at that location, and if Mrs. Young didn't return, she believed that passing away in such a beautiful place wouldn't be a bad fate. When Haewha mentioned the possibility of never meeting again, Numwoo was surprised because it felt like déjà vu. On their way back to the city, Numwoo took a break on some rocks before deciding to return to Haewha. He had developed feelings for her, but was too nervous to express them, so he made up an excuse to stay with her. During their conversation, they revealed that both of them had special powers. Mrs. Young had made Haewha aware of hers, even though she considered it useless. Haewha's power was the ability to make the person she loved unable to forget her. This power had unintentionally caused her not to realize that her mother was suffering from Alzheimer's disease, as her mother could never forget her. Haewha deemed this power useless. Shortly after their conversation, Mrs. Young finally arrived, and Haewha quickly took her to search for other superhumans. Mrs. Young explained that they were running late due to the meteor moving faster than expected. As the television news explained that the meteor would arrive that night, meteor fragments began entering Earth's atmosphere. The broadcast experienced interference and then vanished. Mrs. Young attempted to use her power to look into Numwoo, and she was shocked by what she discovered. She explained that Numwoo possessed a unique superpower. He would return to the past if he died in an accident. This meant that he wouldn't perish in the comet disaster. It became clear that Numwoo was trapped in a time loop, repeatedly experiencing these events without remembering them. He couldn't recall his childhood because he had been stuck in this time loop for a long time, reliving the same moments. His last memory was from 2016 when he was studying police science. Mrs. Young insisted that Numwoo could save the world by returning to the past and warning people about the impending disaster. If humanity learned about the comet earlier, they would have a better chance to prevent it. However, Numwoo had to remember all of these events, and Haewha's power was the key to achieving that. Haewha needed to learn to love Numwoo so that he wouldn't forget. In their final moments, Haewha made an effort to love Numwoo, even though she wasn't sure how to do it. As the meteor drew nearer, the Earth's atmosphere started to change. Numwoo nervously confessed his feelings, revealing that he had liked Haewha from the moment he first saw her. However, genuine emotions couldn't be rushed. Haewha couldn't develop such deep feelings for Numwoo in such a short time. Tearfully, she apologized, realizing that this might be the end of everything. Time rewound to 2016, and Numwoo woke up in his small apartment with no memory of recent events. This was his recurring experience, forgetting his past each time. While getting a drink, he encountered Haewha, who also lived in the same apartment complex. The fact that Numwoo couldn't remember her confirmed that his love was unrequited, and he would continue to relive this painful reality. The only glimmer of hope lay in the possibility of a miracle that could change the variables and eventually open Haewha's heart to Numwoo in the future. Moral lesson from the story: even if you can time travel, love can't be looped or lured like a cat chasing its own tail.